Alright guys, this is your leveling guide for New World. Guys, this guide is going to save you a lot of time, I promise you. Now, like most MMORPGs, the most straightforward way of leveling up is just doing quests. Going to each one in the settlements, picking up the quests, pretty much every icon you see, you want to go ahead and pick up those quests in those areas. Especially if you're going to be in those areas doing main storyline quests. Now let me just break down all the different types of quests. There are main storyline quests, which give you the bulk of experience. There are side story quests, which are not necessarily always in the settlements. They can just be out throughout the world. You can just walk up on them. There are also faction quests. After you progress throughout the main story, you will eventually have to pledge to a specific faction, and those factions have quests that they can offer you. And there are also town board quests. These are quests that you can pick up at the town board of every single settlement. You can kind of do them along the way, and it's normally tasks like killing 20 goats or 5 bison or turning in 20 iron ingots. They're actually easy experience if you have the materials, but early on, I don't want you to get too focused on the town board quests. They're good experience, but they're not like they were back in the beta, which was like the most optimal way of leveling up. Now, the most optimal way of leveling up is definitely still the main storyline. But here's my suggestion about doing the main storyline quest, guys. And I saw it even today. People that were on the same quest step as I was, and they were 4, 5, maybe even 6 levels lower than me. Guys, these main storyline quests and all of these quests have a level recommendation. My rule of thumb here with New World is if the level of the main storyline quests exceeds my level by more than 3 levels, I need to do some side story quests, or maybe even some faction quests, and perhaps some town board quests. You're gonna waste more time trying to do main storyline quests, being under-leveled, trying to kill things that can almost one-hit you. On top of that, just traveling to the locations, if you're under-leveled, can be very dangerous and time-consuming if you get killed along the way. So again, guys, the main storyline quests, you wanna do them as they give you a lot of experience, more so than other quests, but you don't want the quest level and its recommendation to outrun your level, your total level, by more than 3 levels. Now let's talk about the quests that you can fill the gaps with. One of them being faction quests. Now all of our factions offer 6 quests. 3 of them are PvE related and 3 of them are PvP related. And in order to do the PvP related quests, you of course have to activate PvP. So there is some risk associated with it. Now some of the quests just ranges here in terms of the experience that it rewards. The group quests definitely rewards the most experience, which is why I want us to actually take a look here at the top left here. Daily bonuses available. Guys, every day you have the opportunity to get double the experience of your faction quest here, which means whichever one of these quests you turn in when that daily bonus is active, say it says 3 out of 3 and you have 3 quests you can turn in, you don't want to turn in the 3 quests that have the lowest amount of experience. Instead, you want to turn in the quest that has the largest amount of experience, so that when you do get the double experience, it's big bulk amounts of experience that you gain. Guys, this simple trick right here will save you so much time every single day and will eventually net you levels, entire levels, just by timing when you turn in these faction related missions with the most experience. Which takes us to our next thing. Every time you ever log off in this game, always leave your character in a settlement. Guys, while your character is resting in a settlement, you actually get rest bonus experience. Meaning when you log back in the very next day, everything you do will net you even more experience based on how long you rested inside of that settlement. But if you're not inside of that settlement when you get off, you don't get any rest experience. Again, similar to like the faction quests and turning them in for that double experience, this is free experience here that may not seem like a lot on the front end, but fellas, it will save you hours. The next way of really, and I mean really, boosting your experience gains, it's selecting those territory standing upgrades. We brought this up in our tips guide, guys, but every time you do something in a territory, whether it's just killing ads, doing quests, or even traversing the area, you get territory upgrades. And in doing so, you can select things like increased experience gains in those areas, increased reputation, increased gathering speed, less trading fees. There's a variety of benefits. Early on though, I want you to really focus on the increased experience gains and specifically choose an area in which you will be conducting many of your faction quests and even other side story quests. For me, it's Windsward. There's a lot of things that are happening in this territory, including things like the Amorite Expedition, which is the first dungeon you do and unlock. It's also kind of centered there in the map. And between Windsward and Everfall, both of those have always always been like my go-to settlements. I would highly advise, guys, always upgrading those territory standings no matter what, but especially speccing for increased experience while doing things in those territories. Now, something I want to mention, as you get further, you will start to do things like gathering and crafting. So if it's an area in which you're going to be doing a lot of gathering at, you may want to increase your gathering speed in those territory standing upgrades. For instance, for me, the area in which I do most of my gathering in is Everfall. There's a lot of iron there. I do all my smelting and stuff there. So it would make sense in this area to do some upgrades like increased gathering speed, as that also increases our overall experience gains. And again, gathering, crafting, all of those things feeds into our total level. Now, another way to increase your overall experience gains is, of course, to keep PvP activated on at all times. Now, I understand there are risks associated with this. No, you don't really lose items when you die if you get killed out in the wild, but it is annoying. And sometimes you might be killed in areas that took you a long time to get to. There's no mounts in this game. And teleporting is also limited depending on how much Azoth you have. So understand, only turn on PvP if you feel either A, confident in your ability to take on enemies if you do come up against other players that have PvP enabled, or B, you're just really good at running. And no lie, when I see someone that just starts running, a lot of times I just give up. I'm like, man, I'm not about to chase this guy around the entire map. But during that process, as you're doing that quest, you are getting more experience. I was told in the beta it was 5%, but someone said in the stream today it's 10%. Regardless, it's an increase in experience that you gain when PvP is enabled. Now, guys, if you ever see one of these blue pages, read them. Now, you don't really have to read them, just click them. You get free experience, anywhere between 100 to 200 experience just for clicking them. And there are many times inside of settlements, around the faction areas, town boards, you'll see those pages pretty much all over the place, all giving you just free experience for just simply clicking on them. On top of that, on your map, you'll notice that there are question marks, which are essentially areas you have not discovered. Guys, just discovering those areas will also give you free experience, even if you're not even going to be in that area or do anything in that area. If you happen to be going past it, just swing on by that zone and at least discover that area to get that free experience. Now, my last and final suggestion, and this is more specifically gauged at the annoying quests that you will run into inside of New World. There are times where the game wants you to get a specific kill on a specific boss, and like 30 people are standing all right there waiting for that boss to spawn, and you might get 1 to 2 hits in and then the boss vanishes, and suddenly you gotta wait another 10-15 minutes for that boss to respawn again because the game thinks you didn't do anything and you didn't get any credit. Guys, in these moments, it is best for you to invite people around you, or at least accept some of the invitations around you, and join a group. Attack that boss while in a group. This will, of course, give you a better opportunity of having that kill counted towards that quest that you are doing, thus enabling you to get past that annoying part. And that happens a bunch, guys. And understand, if you have PvP activated, you can't get an invite from somebody that doesn't have PvP activated. That's like the pros and cons there. I have PvP activated, but that's because normally I'm kind of like running off by myself, or my entire squad has PvP activated as well. But if you're sitting in those situations where you're trying to get kill credit on a specific boss, join a group, guys. This will make life a lot easier. Last but not least, you may find yourself in a situation where all the quests around you seems to just be gone. You look around and you're like, yo, I have no quests. Fellas, that is when you want to actually progress your main storyline quests. You'll be amazed. Once you actually progress that main storyline quest, voila, more quests and settlements open. And even though some settlements may only show one quest being available there, if you go and do that quest in that settlement, you'll come back, turn it in, and then another quest will pop up, and maybe even 2 more or 3 more. But I would say overall, progressing in the main storyline quests, when you have filled the gaps with side story quests, faction related quests, town board quests, then you can now progress the main storyline quests, which will of course unlock even more quests afterwards. Now, someone's gonna bring up, why isn't dungeons the best way to level up? Well, actually, the dungeons are really good for leveling up weapons. You see, guys, you may be getting your total level up through a variety of ways, whether it's crafting, gathering, or just doing quests. But this doesn't necessarily mean you're leveling up your weapons. Purely combat with that weapon is what levels up that weapon. So the purpose that dungeons serve is, of course, giving you good loot, but also presenting you with lots and lots of elites, which gives you lots of weapon experience. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, total level experience. So if you're thinking you're just gonna get to level 25 and just do dungeons over and over again, think again. Pretty much how how you grinded at the very beginning from 1 to 25 is pretty much how you're going to continue to grind all the way to 60, which is the max level. Guys, let me know in the comments below if we missed anything. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.